I always thought the worst thing in a marriage would be catching your spouse cheating, but I was wrong. The real heartbreak is finding out your partner has been emotionally gone for years, and you never even noticed. It started with an old leather-bound journal I found while cleaning the attic of our Nashville home. We were prepping for a yard sale, just another typical Saturday. I opened it thinking it was one of Claire's old poetry notebooks. The first sentence crushed me. Sometimes I wish I had never married Dan. I'm Dan. That sentence hit like a train. I felt like the floor gave way beneath me. My hands started shaking. I kept reading, hoping it was a poem, a story, anything but real feelings. But it wasn't fiction. It was a decade's worth of her truth, and I had been living a lie. She wrote about feeling trapped. About how our life, the little two-story house, the dog named Pepper, the 4th of July BBQs with the neighbors, the tailgate Sundays, felt more like a prison than a dream. Dan is a good man, she wrote. But sometimes I miss the fire, the danger, the feeling of being truly seen. With Dan, I'm loved, but am I desired? And then came a name I didn't recognize, Ryan, she wrote. Saw someone who looked like Ryan today at Trader Joe's. My heart stopped. It's been years, but the memory of him still burns. He was chaos, passion. Dan is comfort. And I've been suffocating in comfort. I couldn't breathe. I sat on the attic floor for hours reading every line. She wrote about how she felt like she became someone else's version of a wife, that she smiled when she wanted to scream, that she made love like she was following a script. She never said she cheated, but honestly, I don't know what hurts more, a physical betrayal, or knowing your wife was emotionally in love with someone else while lying in your arms. We'd been married 10 years. We met in college in Austin. She was this radiant art major with wild curls and paint-stained jeans. I was the practical business major who kept her grounded. Or so I thought. We built a life in Tennessee. 2 cars, a golden retriever, matching Christmas pajamas. But now I realized, none of that meant she was happy. For 2 weeks, I said nothing. I watched her like a stranger. Every laugh felt fake, every touch, calculated. One night, after she kissed me goodnight, I just asked her, coldly, without looking her in the eyes, "Do you regret marrying me?" She froze. Dan, what? I read the journal. She dropped her coffee mug. It shattered across the hardwood. She looked like a ghost. You weren't supposed to read that. But you wrote it, you felt it, for years. Was it all a lie? No, she sobbed. It wasn't. It was a moment in time. I was confused. I didn't know how to say those things out loud without hurting you. So I wrote them. But I love you. I do. Did you ever stop? She was silent for too long. We went to therapy. We tried. She even quit her job as a part-time art teacher and started painting again, saying she'd lost herself in the marriage and needed to find her again. She was trying. I saw it, but I also saw the way she still looked out the window sometimes with that same haunted expression, like she was searching for something that didn't live here anymore. One night, about 3 months later, I came home early from work. I had flowers. I wanted to surprise her. Tried to rebuild something. I walked in, and she wasn't alone. No, she wasn't with Ryan. She was with Monica, her childhood best friend, the one I never really paid attention to. They weren't doing anything inappropriate. Just talking, crying, but Claire's head was on Monica's shoulder. And Monica was rubbing her back in this intimate, tender way I had never seen before. Nodding years, they didn't see me at first. And what I heard next shattered what little was left of my heart. I don't know if I can keep pretending, Claire whispered. Dan deserves the truth. You're still in love with Ryan. Monica asked. No, Claire replied softly. I was never in love with Ryan. I just didn't know how to admit that I never loved Dan the way he loved me. That was it. I walked in, dropped the flowers, and said, "You just did." Claire broke down sobbing. We didn't fight. There were no screaming matches, no throwing dishes, just silence. A heavy, crushing silence that said everything. She moved out a week later. We sold the house. She took the dog. It's been a year now. I moved to Denver, started over. I go hiking on weekends. Joined a men's therapy group. I even dated a bit, nothing serious. But for the first time, I feel like me again. Not someone's backup plan, not someone's safety net. Claire emailed once, said she's living in Portland, teaching art, alone, said she's still trying to figure out who she is. I never replied. Because here's the thing, I deserve someone who chooses me every single day, not someone who settles for me when the fire burns out. And I've learned that loving someone isn't enough if they don't love themselves enough to stay honest.